So it looks like a lot of you guys are using Facebook, Instagram, blogs or websites, some YouTube. So kind of what we were expecting. Snapchat, other. If you guys are using other, feel free to throw that into the chat so that, you know, we might learn a little bit from you guys too if there's other social media that you folks are using either for your business or for your personal. And I think some of the panelists will also talk about that a little bit more. So I'm going to end the polling now. So a pretty good chunk of you guys are using kind of the main 4 avenues that we thought that folks would probably be using for social media, either for their business or personal. Okay. So with that, I'm going to let the panelists take it away. It looks like Brandon was unable to make it. I'm sure everyone here has a farmer ranch, so sometimes things come up. So I'm sure that he's probably got some fire he's putting out on his operation. So we all know how that goes. So we're gonna go ahead and start off. Taylor, I'm gonna let you go first and just kind of share a little bit about your operation and your markets, and then we'll move into Paul, and then we'll end with Brittany. So if you guys have questions throughout this, we'll ask that your verbal questions you hold off until the end of the panelists, and then if you do have questions that come to mind throughout the conversation, feel free to throw those in the chat, and then again, feel free to message Shannon or Melly if you have a question that you would like it to be anonymous, but you still want to ask it. So with that, I'll let you guys take control.
Thanks, Savannah. Savannah, what time frame do I have? How long?
Just keep it under 10 minutes, if you can do that.
I can, definitely. Good evening, everyone. My name is Taylor. I am the Director of Diversified Agriculture for Cool Oil Ranch. Livestock-wise, we do grass-fed, grass-finished cattle, and then we also do local pork in a deep litter system. We have a small herd. We run about 500 head of cattle, and we are limited to a harvest number of about 130 annually. So that really translates into about 8 animals we're sending monthly cattle-wise for primal cuts. That doesn't count our cull cows for grind. And then we also send about 8 hogs per month as well. So we do 4 cattle 1 week, 4 hogs the next week, and so on. Prior to the whole COVID crisis, we sold direct to consumer through our visitor center, which is the location that's associated with our tour portion. And we used an online presence simply with the fact that you could pre-order your cuts and make a pre-order that we would then bag for you, and then you would have to come and pick up and pay at that time. It worked pretty well, except for the fact that you could have because you didn't pay at the time of ordering, we did have situations where people wouldn't pick up. So just something we had to monitor. One thing we did shift though after COVID, which I'll just kind of jump into, is because we lost our retail space, our retail outlet, we went to a direct to consumer ordering system where we used Instagram and we use MailChimp for direct consumer marketing, in the sense of we send out a newsletter of availability every Monday, and then we take orders Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays we pack, and then Friday we have a time period where people come to our site and we take out their orders to them. It sounds pretty simple. It's pretty challenging because unlike CSA type of programs, we allow you to customize your bag. So it's a little bit of a space suck, in the sense of you have to have freezer or refrigerator space where you have to lay out orders. It's been working well for us. It is a challenge when you're not doing an online store format, which is what we would prefer, because that way people can order and pay at the same time. The packing would be the same. The one thing that we have found that's been huge for us is social media presence, though, simply because Instagram is a way for us to contact a lot of people, because our emailing list is efficient in the sense that I can get from me to you quickly, being a person that goes from sale to customer. But social media allows that to kind of grow exponentially, meaning that the thing that I sent out can then be shared, and that can be shared, and that can be shared. And so you reach a lot more people. And we actually tripled in the amount of people that follow us at Cool Grown in the last 7 weeks. And I think it had a lot to do with people wanting to get those local products direct to consumer. And I'm positive we wouldn't have been able to do that without the social media presence. One of the things that I was going to point out that I think kind of helps with direct to consumer when you're doing marketing is that, if you have a grass finished product, if you have a local product, you can differentiate yourself easier than if people are just choosing on the shelves. And you'll actually have people seek you out because of that. Particularly for us, I mean, we're only harvesting eight animals of both species a month. That's not a lot. So it allows us to get it to the people who are actually looking for it and will actually seek it out. The one thing that we found with local pork that was really interesting was, because we had a pretty good market for our cattle, we thought the pork was going to be a real quick winner, and it actually took us quite a while to build that market. And in fact, one thing we found is that when you're looking at prime cuts, the beef industry's done a tremendous job naming and marketing prime cuts for you. So much of the animal is now available in a cool name, whether it be skirt steak or something like that. But with pork, that's not as much. So we actually we do a lot of sausages, because that's something that people find really easy to access. And it allows us to take the picnics, the shoulders, the butts, and kind of utilize those for a little bit of more of a value added product. And it's easier to market online as well, because everybody kind of can wrap their heads around an Italian sausage or a Portuguese sausage or something like that. The one thing I did want to point out is that, our challenge for how we do our business is that we, because we're direct to consumer, and because we're dealing with families rather than supermarkets or with restaurants, we have to pay for the addition of cutting and wrapping. So we not only have to pay for our kill costs, but we also have to pay for individual cut and wrap, which you'll make back quickly, particularly if you have a good market, but it is a consideration. But we're at the point now where with our markets, both online and both in other formats, we sell out as quick as we bring it in. And quite frankly, we're just limited in finishing pasture when it comes to beef, and we're limited by square footage when it comes to hogs. So it's definitely something that I think is got a lot of growth to it. And I do think, honestly, social media is a good way to do it. The last thing I'll finish with is that the one thing I did have to learn with social media is be careful what cute babies you post, because I thought it was really cool to post baby pigs online until I started trying to then follow it up with a nice pork chop on the grill. That doesn't always work super good. So that was a good learning thing. But yeah, that's it from me, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys tonight. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Taylor. And I know there were a couple of chats, Jimmy, I noticed in here, and we'll wait until the end to address them. But I'm taking note of when they're asked so that I can kind of gauge who they were directed at. So next up, we're going to have Paul go ahead, and I think Kyle's running he's got tech support there and everything for him.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Lopes with Lopes Farm LLC, and we're basically doing what Taylor folks are doing. I mean, before the COVID, we were mostly with hotels and restaurants, and once that hit, all that shut down. So we had to look at other options. So we did it on Facebook and took off pretty quick. I agree with Taylor. I thought, we had pretty good pork, but the beef outsells the pork every time. I thought it's picking up now, but I thought the pork would be a bigger seller than the beef, and I know it's a whole different thing, especially when you're kind of illiterate with this Facebook and all that stuff. We have my daughter-in-law kind of runs everything. Takes a lot of time though to do it. We go the orders every week, and we started off with 50 and we've done over 100 a week. So that's basically it.
Thanks so much, Paul. And then lastly, we're going to go with Brittany, and I know you'll cue me whenever you want me to send in your links, correct?
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Brittany Anderson from Sugar Hill Farmstead. We are based out of Honolulu on the Big Island. My business is set up for direct-to-consumer. So in 2012, I started a company called Big Island Farm Fresh Foods, which was direct-to-consumer vegetable sales. It was a CSA style, but I aggregated from local farmers that were organically minded. In about August of 2017, we started Sugar Hill Farmstead, which was a regenerative agriculture farm, and we produce grass-fed beef, grass-fed lamb, pastured pork, pastured chicken, grass-fed rabbits, and pastured eggs, raw honey, organic bananas, the list goes on. We do a little bit of everything, and the Sugar Hill Farmstead Meat CSA is direct-to-consumer meat CSA. So each month our members get a bag of, it may be beef, chicken, pork, sometimes rabbit, and people are allowed to customize that. It's been an incredible success, a little bit crazy right now because I have a wait list of 120 people. I have 25 people that we have on our list monthly. It's a subscription base, so it renews each month, so I have guaranteed sales for each month. How I kind of differentiate myself is we do custom exempt, so I do the slaughter, butchering, all of the processing myself along with my husband. That kind of sets us apart, and our Instagram has been a huge driver in our sales, along with our website, sugarhillfarmstead.com. And please follow us on Instagram. It's a lot of fun. I'm just kind of a girl with a dream of being a farmer and a butcher. And it's really resonated with a lot of people. Our goal is to bring transparency and honesty into the food system. And it's really just been amazing at how it's been received by the people of the Big Island. Let's see, our email list is quite large, and I have it separated into kind of two groups, the local group and the kind of mainland group that are, farm curious, and they just kind of want to stay up to date and get some farm to table meals or meal inspiration and recipes. But our direct to consumer email list for the Big Island has really brought people back to continue buying and adding things like our mac nuts and dehydrated apple bananas. Recently, because of COVID, I kind of started doing vegetables again. So once a week on Saturdays, I have people that arrive at our house, and I think I'm up to 30 people each week now that get a bag full of vegetables. And it's a great introductory to kind of the CSA. And a lot of those people want to join the meat CSA. It's but it's two very separate clients, very different groups of people that are buying the vegetables versus buying the meat. And I really kind of honed in on who my ideal customer was in order to tap into the best people to continue ordering each month, each week, for both the vegetable and the meat CSA. I see the comments. It's very distracting. I should turn it off. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. On our website, we use Square, which takes all major credit cards, debit cards, PayPal. I have people that Venmo. If somebody wants to give me money, I'm going to find the app or take the cash for it. I send invoices. If somebody wants to buy what you've got, you're going to find a way to accept that payment. But yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. Branding has been big for us. Branding has been, we kind of set up knowing what our branding would be. And transparency, honesty, food that's good for the soil, good for the animals, and good for the people of the Big Island.
Thanks so much, Brittany. I know you had a couple of links here. Did you want me to post them?
Sure.
Or did you want to talk about each of them, this 3cowmarketing.com?
Oh, yeah, sure. I took Charlotte Smith does free classes. She also does coaching, and she's been kind of the tipping point for where our success came from. And it's a free email course on how to do direct to consumer email marketing, how to grow your email list and really get the right people on that email list, because you can have 1,000 people on an email list and none of them will buy anything. So that is a great link. Branding, I use Sticker Mule for a lot of our branding stuff. So I give out stickers in a lot of our packaging. So Sticker Mule, you have a $10 off link there for that as well. Hooking everybody up.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Brittany. So it looks like we've got a couple of questions here, and I'm not sure, Shannon and Melly, if you guys have any private chats, just let me know. But Jimmy Gomes had asked, I think of Taylor, but we can also ask the rest of the crew, what kind of cuts do you sell retail? What is your grade choice prime? How are you grading your meats? And then how old when you slaughter your beef, and around what weight are they? And Jimmy, are you asking live weight or are you asking hot weight?
Hot weight is fine.
So Taylor answered that in the chat. Not sure, Brittany or Paul, if you want to share with that some feedback that you guys have.
I just did a cow that was, I want to say 14 months. How old was it? Oh, sorry, it was 2 years old. And he was 1,000 pounds live, probably live weight. I think we got about, because when we hung him, he was around, it was like 700, 800 pounds. It was huge. It's a huge cow. But for us, because of our CSA style, our members are part owners of the cow. So they get different portions. So we do ground, we do, everybody wants a ribeye. Not everybody is going to get a ribeye every month. So they are getting a section of the cow or a portion of the weight of the cow. So they'll get ground. We do T-bones, ribeyes. Let's see. Roast, stew. I do ossobuco bones, which are really popular, or people also call them soup bones. And sometimes I do marrow bones as well. The short ribs are also really popular, but you don't really get to, for us, you don't really get to pick so much of what you get. You're kind of surprised each month by what you open up in your in your bag.
You have a bok choy box.
Exactly.
I have a question for you, Brittany. When you slaughter on your own facility, it sounds like.
Yes.
So is it USDA inspected?
No, because we are custom exempt, we do not have a USDA inspector on site. So how we get around by not having a USDA inspector is the animals are owned by our CSA members. So we are providing the owner of the animal the service of slaughter.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Jimmy, for us, we gotta have the stamp since we're turning around and retailing.
Yeah, I know you do, Taylor.
Yeah.
Paul, just jump in if you want to share anything. But Shannon also asks what sorts of POS systems, point of sale systems, if you have, if any, have you all considered? So I know Brittany had mentioned some, but Taylor or Paul, if you want to share what you guys have found has been helpful.